Growing up as a kid in Southwest Louisiana, what was it about baseball that made you gravitate toward it?
My dad is an ex-professional baseball player, played for the Pittsburgh Pirates for some time, and then after that, played for the McNeese Cowboys down the road. Played football there for a little while. So it's I guess in the blood, man. It was just part of life. That was normal for me. Whatever season it was, that's what we were doing. And it was normal for me to be out on the practice field, like I said, football and baseball, especially at a young age. And so I just fell in love with it.
Can you kind of talk about your dad's influence? I mean, what was it like having somebody like you said he played in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization, played college football as well. Like it must have been helpful to have somebody who's playing at the highest level, kind of help you and guide you on your own journey.
The one thing I'll give him is the things that he didn't know and maybe that he wasn't the expert at. He always found somebody that was, and always put me in a great position to have success. And I was really lucky to be coached by some of the best coaches around in my career. He took me all over the place as well. But no, man, my dad was my hero growing up and still is, and taught me everything I knew, taught me, made me the man I am today, he's a big part of it. And so being able to lean on him, especially, through some of the ups and downs later in my career, and just helping me progress and learn how to handle those things, and almost kind of treat it like a job, which, when you get into college and obviously in a pro ball, that's kind of what it is a little bit. So just, like he would always tell me, just, if you want to be a pro, you got to act like a pro, walk like a pro, talk like a pro. So just learning how to do things the right way.
Yeah, it's so awesome that you had, that type of influence to kind of help you because there are so many, I don't know, there are so many different like avenues and ways you can go and so much external noise. If you had to pick like one lesson that you think he instilled in you at a young age that you've been able to take off the baseball diamond, what would that be?
I guess the first one that comes to mind is, if you're going to do it the right way. And that just really with anything, if you're going to attack something, or you're trying to work towards a goal, or even if it's something as simple as picking your locker up or cleaning your area or whatever it may be. I can remember for whatever reason, this instant pops in my head, and we were living in Lake Charles. My dad was coaching at McNeese, and I believe I was pretty young in high school, and we used to have these bands set up in the backyard, and this little like vertimat. It was like a little workout area for me, that I would do some training and some different stuff out there daily, and got filled with leaves, just got a little dirty. So he's like, "Hey, basically clean it, sweep it." And so I just got done with the workout. I wanted nothing to do with that at all. So I grabbed the broom, and I'm like just kind of moving it around, put the broom up, walked in the house, and was like, it's done. So he walks out there, and needless to say, he wasn't very pleased. So that wasn't, many other instances growing up. Obviously, it's just something similar, but for whatever reason, that kind of popped in my head. So, like I said, I think it just goes back to being a pro, about how you go about just your day, and even the little things, the details, just making sure that you're handling yourself the right way, handling other people the right way, all that stuff.
It's so interesting that you bring up kind of those smaller details and those smaller like finer points of your sport or in life, because those are the ones that we tend to overlook to get to the bigger carrot, or we just don't want to do, like sweeping up the leaves, or in my case as a hockey player, I was hanging up all my gear, after practice, and my dad, like, I'd leave it in the bag and be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you got to air that stuff out. So number one, your mom doesn't kill you. Um, and number two, like mold and all the other stuff. So I love that that was his message to you at such a young age. And it's cool how we can see it now. Like we see it now as adults. And when we're younger, it's like, what the hell? Like, how is this? I don't know about you, but like my mindset was like, how is hanging up my gear gonna get me to playing in the NHL? Like, how are those little things? And that's the crazy part, is that stuff does accumulate to get you to those levels that you ultimately want to get to.
There's no question about it. I mean, there was a couple of times I feel like every teenager, you get to that age where it's like you don't want to hear what dad has to say. This really doesn't matter what he's talking about or how important it may be. And somebody else could tell you the exact same thing, and you would listen to that person, but not listen to dad. And so there was a couple years where he moved me from travel teams and kind of put me in a challenge me basically, maybe put me in a worse situation, or challenge me to something as simple as like switch hitting. Like I was naturally a right-handed hitter, but I was a left-handed thrower, and which is not really good in baseball. And so I had like switch hit and messed around with it for a long time, and finally we grew up. I played with the same guys for a long time, so we were a pretty good little travel team. So he took me off that team and put me on a team that wasn't quite as good. It was basically like you're switch hitting, and I'm forcing you. And I think I got it like 2 or 3 hits in the first tournament, and I'm pretty sure I didn't get a hit for like 2 months. I struck out like 50 or 60 times. It was just like, but it was stuff like that where he challenged me and put me in situations, and maybe I wasn't even when I wasn't successful, there was always a lesson, and there was something. And just kind of to your point, it's like, why am I doing all this? This is, let me hit right-handed and hit doubles and homers. But you see it years down the road, you're like, okay, I get it. I understand. So, but at the time it wasn't fun. I'll tell you that.